Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, fellow people. Good morning, Wadabevi. A lot of stars, happiness, hearts, happy, smiley faces with sunglasses. This is Department of Career Services. Once again, where our goal is simply to help our students and other interested people on their journey through life. We do that two ways. One is through this podcast. The other, more important way, is through the worksheet, which can be found down below or on Facebook or on LinkedIn or on our website. If you go at it from down below, please subscribe, click on the link, favorite, click on the bell. You know the thing. Do all of those. So Wadabevi is happy Buddha. Happy Buddha. Happy Buddha. Happy Buddha. Bonk. Okay, so good morning. It is, so how are things in Florida? Florida. Wadabevi, we'll see if Maria gets on here. Today is a Wednesday. That means it's our volunteers breakfast at the Methodist Church. Okay, what is wonderful about it? Why are you so cryptic? Healthful and growthful. Healthful and growthful. Good. Cool. Good. Glad to hear it. A little something on my ear itch. All right. So today is volunteer breakfast day. That means I have to head out about 7:15, which means I have a lot to do. Get on the Peloton and stuff. But back to how do we help people on their journey through this life, where with the belief that this is not the only, this isn't it. This is not it. We are not just atoms in the void. There is more to it than just this. So it's best to prepare for what comes next because you never know when that will happen. So if you get ready, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. All right, you are. And so the worksheet number one, that's where the experts are for a 4-part transformational program: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. It takes all of those. Think about a table with 4 solid legs. Now think of a table with 3 solid legs. How much weight can you put on a table with 4 solid legs versus one with 3 solid legs? Or what about one with, you got 4 legs, but they're not solidly attached, or they're not of equal strength? How much weight can you put on it? So, clearly through that little thought exercise, you can see that you want to have a table, the biggest tabletop, the strongest legs, and put the most amount of weight on it that you possibly can. All of the rewards, prizes, accomplishments, adventures, mysteries, all of that loaded on this table. And to do that, you need a table with 4 strong legs to maximize the amount of weight it can hold. If you have a table with 4 legs, one falls off, stuff on the table is going to slide off. You're going to have to fix the leg, put back on the table the things that fell off, wasting a lot of time. Some of it which will break, you won't be able to replace. Okay, what is our meme of today? What is our meme of today? Our meme of today is practical leadership, which is also known as daily drudgery. It's the day in, day out, everyday part of grown-up life that people don't really like to talk about. Why? Who knows? But anyway, it's that. So we're going to talk about practical leadership. What else we got going, John? What else do we have, Johnny? Well, advice from an 80-year-old: whistle. So Okay, so whistle. See what happens when you whistle? You have to smile. Okay, next, Seth Godin. What does Seth have to say? Projects in the long haul. Rome was built in a day. Wasn't finished in a day. In fact, it's still not finished. But the day someone said, "This is Rome," and announced the project, it was there. Sometimes we get hung up on the beginning, unwilling to start Rome unless we're sure we can finish it without incident. Sometimes we get hung up on the finishing, starting things all the time, but blinking in the face of resistance and wandering away. The long haul is simply your list of completed projects. A career is not a series of tasks, it's the chance to build projects, to build things. Projects is kind of hyperlinked. 40 years of projects. This is a, wow. So Seth Godin has a secret thing in there. Oh, back on July 10th, 2014, 10 years ago. Drip by drip. So he's got one very clever, going back to 1984, Telarium, a huge project that started my path with a flourish. I was incredibly lucky to be given the resource to create something magical by David and Bill. A story for another day, but it took me a long time to again come close to an experience like this one. 1985, tennis and golf on VCR, British video games on floppy disk, and the Soups and the Spinnaker project. Okay. "1986, Business Rules of Thumb, my first book, followed by 900 rejections in a row, 30 projects dead, including the fortune cookie construction set and how to hypnotize your friends and make them act like chickens." Very good. We'll have to read that later. So, where are we at? The long haul. What can we say in our remaining time about practical leadership? Okay, so this is week 4 in our 4-week neuroscience-oriented program of success. This is the week we refer to as leadership. In our metaphor of the boat, this is, okay, now you have your plans, you have your boat, you have your crew, you shoved off, you're at sea, and the thing is, now don't crash the boat. Don't have a mutiny. Don't lose your mind. Stay on project. That is this week. So we started this week with crisis leadership. Nancy Kane, Harvard Business School professor, who has over the years been very helpful to the school, especially women. Shameless plug for Nancy Kane. Nancy Kane, crisis leadership. Stories about Lincoln and Shackleton. Day 2, other end of the extreme of the spectrum. Pure leadership, Marcus Aurelius and Stoicism. Somebody who could have had everything he wanted, any vice, anything he wanted, he could have had, but he chose to pursue Stoicism, where moral virtue is enough. And Michael Sugar points out that takes a lot when you can have anything you want to decide that you're going to say moral virtue is enough and forego all of the quick, immediate pleasures you could have had. So today is practical leadership. Practical leadership, the day-to-day. So it's not like we're in a constant storm or we're in constant beautiful seas. This is the day-to-day where we have good and bad, highs and lows, ups and downs, successes and setbacks, etc. How do you handle that? And the example we start with is Ignatius of Loyola, because he's a man after our own heart. Started one way in life, was somewhat impetuous, self-centered, crash, boom. His life gets bad, gets injured. He realizes at some point the life he had anticipated, had been pursuing for about 15 years, that's over. Now what? So today, that person would be probably determined or classified as being depressed, maybe have PTSD, who knows, might be on some kind of meds, but he decides to take off and kind of ends up living in a cave, beating himself, scourging himself at night for his sins of his life, and trying to figure it out, asking God, is this what it's all about? Is this it? Is this all there is to it? And one day, sitting by the Cardinal River, he has a mystical vision where it is revealed to him. So this could have been where he breaks through in the hero's journey. He breaks through, he has a mystical vision and comes up with a new idea, sort of like Jesus did after being baptized. New idea. God is in all things. God does not just speak through the priests and the Pope. God is in all things. You see that log over there? God is in. You see that person there? Be he never so vile. There's a little spark of God that needs to be nurtured and shared. And that idea led him on a path through a couple of arrests, through getting kicked out of school, etc., to do wonderful, marvelous things that greatly changed the world, igniting other people's passions, to go off to parts unknown in the world, China, India, Japan, all over the world, Yellowstone, the Northwest, well, everywhere. Let's just say, sending people off everywhere on quests for pragmatic reasons. So we're learning about that. And kind of why him? Well, because given his life story, his history of life up to and through his crash, we can say if he could have done all of that, each of us, we could do something. So he's a good role model. Whereas Marcus Aurelius is a good role model as an ideal, and Lincoln and Shackleton are good role models as ideals. It's just unlikely we will ever be president, be an explorer, the emperor of Rome. We won't have those things, but we could follow Ignatius's path and do something as well. We can have our life have meaning, transcend the attitude, the thought, the belief that this is it, this is all there is to it. I go through this, then I die, and my atoms, my ashes are returned to the earth. I'm food for worms. I'm buried in a garbage dump. Is that it? And the answer should be no. Okay, cool. So here we are. It is 6:16. Time for me to get on the peloton. And thank you all for being there. Please watch this. This is about routine. So I said there's two things that make this that are important about this. The most important thing is the worksheets. That is the experts. The podcast is way down on the list. It's not high quality. I'm not trying to make it high quality. It'd be nice if it was higher quality. But the purpose of the podcast is to create a routine, a daily routine, because repetition creates a habit. And our goal is very simple. Just replace habits with better habits. replace habits with better habits. That's all you have to do. And habits are unconscious behavior that are best developed by repetition, which is a routine. So everyone, thank you. Everyone who's here, was here, will be here, thank you for doing this. And as they say in the Peloton, give yourself a round of applause. Give yourself a round of applause because you're doing the work to help you on your journey through this life and to prepare for what comes next. So with that, I will say, as Darren Hardy says, I'll see you on the flip side. Bingo. Okay, Wada Bevy, you're still there. Great. Sayonara. Sigh till tomorrow.